What's going on, guys? So we are standing in front of our Coachman Brookstone fifth wheel. As you can see on the front, we have the third generation Reese goose box. This replaces a standard kingpin with a gooseneck connection, so you can hitch it up to a truck without having to have a big fifth wheel hitch in the bed. All you need is a goose ball. So again, this is a third generation. We've done a lot of collaborations with the folks over at Reese, but I've recently had a couple questions from folks asking if the Morryde cord keeper is compatible with the Reese goose box, because you don't have quite the same look to your pin box as you typically would. Well, let's see how this works today. We're going to give you an honest evaluation of this thing and if it is everything they say it claims to be. It's supposed to essentially take your cord, your big 7-way connector here that you connect to the back of your truck, stow it so it's not hanging like this and it's up and out of the way. Let's see how it works. So unlike a traditional pin box, we don't have a big flat surface on the bottom of the goose box, so we're not going to be able to put it there. Really, the only true place you could put it is going to be right here. Okay, so I got my cord right here, and all I'm going to simply do is take my cord, wrap it around this cord keeper. It has a magnet on the other side, so it basically will adhere to any type of steel product here. Take the other end right here. Insert it through here. And that worked out well. The magnet is at the very bottom portion of this flange right here, but it is still holding on really well. I don't think you'd have any problem. It's designed to spin a little bit so you can spin it around, but I think it looks pretty good like that. What do you guys think? Anyways, guys, I will put a link to this in the description of this video if this is a product you may be interested in. Okay, the next Morryde product we're going to be installing and evaluating today is the SafeTRail. So it is this really cool, you kind of pull it out SafeTRail system that extends, and it replaces this SafeTRail right here. So this is not a no drill install in this case. We're going to have to remove this one, caulk the holes that are back here, and then place this one up there to get this lined up the way we need it. Now, another thing we're going to have to do is cut part of this trim away right here as well. Some RVs have that trim there, most of them do. Some RVs don't. If you don't have it, then you can proceed on to kind of like the next step. It's a lot easier because you don't have to do any cutting. But if you do have this here, you are going to have to cut this piece of trim away about that far so you can fit this bottom portion right here up against this area. First thing we need to do is remove this handle right here and get the hole sealed up. Okay, so we're not just removing this to switch to a new product. We're removing this also because ever since installing this new electric lock from Global Lock, right? Works really well. You pull it like this instead of sideways, and it sticks off of the side of the RV about 1.5 inches. So when you swing this in front, it no longer sits flush against the door. It sticks off probably over 2 inches. So there's a couple reasons to do this upgrade. First of all, it's kind of a better setup because you can grab the handle as you're walking up the stairs versus grabbing it after you're at the top of the stairs. And then secondly, because this handle won't allow this one to function the way it's supposed to. So we need to remove this setup here so we can install the new one. So next, I'm going to clean up this area a little bit because this is where the new bracket's going to go, and I'm going to seal up these holes right here. This is Asdel right here, so you don't have to worry about delamination from water, but you still don't want water getting through here and into your sidewall. It just isn't a good thing. So let's go ahead and clean this up and seal up the holes. Now, I already used a heat gun to remove the stickers and move them over slightly. All of them turned out really good except this one right here. I think I heated it up a little bit too much, so it wrinkled part of the edge of the sticker. But I was able to shift the stickers from here to right here because I think it looks kind of tacky when you put the bar right here and it's covering up half of a sticker. So I moved them over. Definitely want to keep the Asdel sticker on here. But let's go ahead and seal up these holes. Okay, so I have all the holes sealed up with a clear RTV silicone. I know there's other types of sealants, other types of solutions to seal things up, but I'm never going to have to remove it, so I'm perfectly fine using RTV silicone. Next thing I need to do is take my new rail, and you see how it kind of has a tee-off at the end here. It needs to sit right here and butt up against the bottom of the door, right there. In order for me to do that, I need to cut away part of this trim right here so this fits the way it's supposed to. But that's where it's going to sit, right there. So that's going to require me actually cutting it to right about here past this screw, which is totally fine because this is going to have a screw going into it, which will actually go over that specific area. Okay, so this wasn't the way I originally thought I was going to be able to do this, but it's the way that it had to be done. I used my little DeWalt grinder there. I cut through this part. This is just an aluminum channel, and I should be able to work that off with the little cut I made there. There we go. Now let's hold this up just to make sure it fits. And it does. That's going to work out really well. So I'll probably put it right there. I want to put another bead of silicone right here to replace the silicone that I had to remove right there. I'm going to clean it up a little bit first from all that dust. But yeah, you're going to have to cut through this. In my case, the whole thing is an aluminum channel. So in some of them, it's like a rubber strip that goes over a small aluminum channel, but this whole thing is an aluminum channel. So I had to cut this whole piece off right here. And a grinder is really the best way. I tried to start with the Dremel, and I couldn't get the angle on it to make a clean cut. So I went and got my DeWalt grinder, and now it looks a lot better. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this all resealed. Actually, it looks like they have some sealant in here already. This sealant doesn't really do anything. I mean, this is more cosmetic than anything because this is just a piece of trim right here. It's hollow on the other side, and this is where the sidewall meets the floor. So there's not really any risk right here, but I'm still going to seal it up just to be safe. Okay, so now I'm going to grab the whole assembly. I'm going to butt it up against the bottom of the door, put it to here, drill a hole in the center here. Okay, that one's through. Go ahead and remove it, wipe it off real quick. Take a little bit of silicone, fill this hole. Now I'm going to hold this back up in place. Put the screw in. Okay. One down. Let's read the directions. Okay, so I just put the top screw in. Now it's saying I need to put this one in right here. There's actually enough flexibility here that you can pull this off slightly, so I can clean the shavings off of the back. And I can also apply some silicone with my finger. Like that. And it says to go ahead and put your second screw in. Okay, so they told me to remove the nylon bolt nut off the top here. I have this in place. I have the screw here in place. Now I need to put this top bracket right here at the very top. The instructions aren't very clear when it comes to this piece right here. It just says to put all pieces in. It doesn't actually say to set this on top. I actually had to refer to the picture on the front of the instruction manual to see this step. So this will be screwed in place here. I'll put all the screws in to secure it. Okay, so next I have to put the rail back on. I'm going to feed the nut in like this. The first one in. The magnet is pretty tight, so you got to be a little careful how you do this. There we go. Need to tighten that down, but I think we're set. Okay, so we have everything in place. Everything's tightened and fastened correctly. Everything is sealed up correctly. It looks really nice. I mean, it really does. This is a really cool product. I have to admit, I can really appreciate having a rail that comes down this far, because for my wife, you just grab it right here, walk up. That is very nice, very innovative. This is the Morryde SafeTRail. I've reviewed a lot of these on new RVs, but we've never owned one. So it was really cool to see the process of installing it on our 2024 Forest River Surveyor Legend and removing the one that comes with it. I'm not going to say there's anything wrong with the typical handrail that you use to get onto an RV, but this is definitely a much, much better product, better evolutionary product, and it's something that I think most people can appreciate and absolutely understand why you'd want something like this. Again, to stow it, we're going to take the pin out right here. That's just where you put the pin whenever you're not using it, because I couldn't find any other place to put it, and there's no hole here to feed it all the way through. Simply slide it in, magnetically holds, but then you also have the safety pin right here that you can pop into place and secure it against the side of the RV for whenever you're traveling. And you're good to go. Gotta admit, that is pretty cool. Anyways, I will put a link in the description of this video if you are interested in this product. Big shout out to Morryde. They've always been a big supporter of the channel, so I can definitely appreciate it whenever they send me some new toys to install. The Morryde Cord Keeper is a zero install product. You basically magnetically attach, wrap your cord around it. There's a couple different ways you can try to put it on there, but it's definitely pretty cool. SafeTRail is an absolute install product. I'm gonna say, you know, from a 0 to 10 in terms of proficiency, you probably need to be like a 3, maybe a 4, only because you are going to be doing some cutting on some RVs. If you don't have to do the cutting, then this is like a 1 or 2. It's much, much simpler. But if you have to cut, you're going to have to know what tools you need to cut the trim off, what the trim looks like. Don't go too deep. Just basically ensure that you're doing that part correctly. And then you're going to have to drill several holes in the side of your RV so you can secure this in place, and then use some silicone sealant as well, just to make sure no water gets into your wall. But it looks really nice. Really glad I moved the stickers over. I've seen people install this where they install it over the stickers, and to me that just looks really tacky. Sorry, no offense to those of you who have done that, but I think you probably agree. And it's probably because you just don't want to peel your stickers off, which I can understand. They're vinyl stickers. They don't peel off really well, even when you use a heat gun. The Asdel sticker did a little better, but the corner still got a little frayed. Anyways, we're going to install a few more Morryde products and see how they work. Guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.